And then I guess the last thing I just wanted to cover here is kind of that what I still don't have a really good sense of is kind of how the crews are mixed or not mixed between the different types of maintenance. So you mentioned kind of planned/heavy maintenance, minor maintenance, and inspections. Is it the same group of people that does all three of these, with the exception of what we discussed, like if there's like a specific high voltage equipment that a general crew can't touch? Like, is it the same crew that does this, or is it, would you have a planned heavy maintenance group, a minor maintenance group, an inspections group?
Well, typically your maintenance group or crews, they do both heavy and minor,
Okay.
but the inspections are usually done. So think about it in terms of job titles. Your heavy maintenance is usually done by mechanics. Your heavy maintenance and even your, to some degree, your minor maintenance is done by mechanics. Your inspections can be done by mechanics, but typically it's more, the job function is inspectors.
Yeah.
And then on your system protection piece of maintenance, that's usually done by technicians.
Yeah.
So
got it.
there are different skill sets done in general for those different functions. And there's a little bit of overlap, but the biggest differentiator is, the heavy maintenance is usually done by the mechanic crews.
Yeah.
And the other ones, it's more of it's not as time consuming, and it's more technical, the other stuff like inspections and system protection.
Yeah. Okay. Understood. And then just the last question, and this is for me to understand a little bit more kind of the emergency response crew. Like, is it a separate crew that's basically on standby, or a set of crews that's on standby 24/7, or are they are they kind of they're inspection folks, or they're maintenance folks that are just not doing maintenance at that time? Like what I'm saying, I guess what I'm saying is.
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, usually what happens is those are your emergency response people are usually part of your maintenance group. So, like I was explaining before, so if a circuit breaker malfunctions and blows up, or there's major leaks of oil, whatever, you're going to call the people that you do maintenance on it. So typically, it's your maintenance people, your heavy maintenance, if you want to, in that example that I use, will respond. So what happens is typically there's a call out system, right? So you work your regular schedule, and every so many days or every so many weeks, you're on call, so that if something happens, after hours, let's just say, then you're called out. They'll call you and say, "Hey, we got this situation. You need to go out." And so then that crew will go out to go repair the equipment. So that's usually the way it works. It's not people that are only doing that function because it can't keep you busy enough to do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. And then, I'm assuming it's the same scheduling department that we discussed earlier that schedules both the crews that do the maintenance and then figuring out which crews are currently doing emergency response rather than planned maintenance.
Yeah, so usually there's an on-call, just like I described, there's on-call people. There's also an on-call supervisor. And sometimes those are called the first responders. But so something happens, usually the process usually happens is, let's say something breaks at a substation, a breaker blows up or whatever. So the first ones that are going to know that happened is the transmission operations center, right? Because they're going to get alarms that say, "Hey, we got a problem here," right? So what do? They would call the first responders, who's typically someone close to that substation that's on call,